From the new Fate Apocrypha trailer to how RADWIMPS went about choosing the music style for Kimi No Na Wa, I'm your host, Anime Sam, and this is AniNews. Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of AniNews. I took a little time off to finish up my exams, but that's done now, so we're back to uploading regularly, and I've got a lot of videos planned. I'm also recovering from a little cold, so if my voice sounds a bit off, that's why. Anyway, for today is just a little bit of news from the past week and a little special segment that I found on Kimi No Na Wa, so let's get started with today's first trailer. Now, I've been wanting to share this one for weeks now, but haven't really got the chance, so here it is finally, the trailer for Fate Apocrypha. So in case you didn't already know, this part of the Fate franchise takes place in a parallel world from the Fate Stay Night universe, where the Holy Grail had disappeared after the 3rd Holy Grail War. It's now around the time of the 5th Holy Grail War, and the location of the Grail has been discovered. So two factions with their own servants now compete to control the Grail in what is being called the Great Holy Grail War, and this is set to begin airing on July 7th. So next up is a trailer for a show called Anime Gataris, which is basically an anime about people who watch anime. There's not really much else I can say about it other than it's an original comedy anime that's set to air starting this October. Now here's another trailer for yet another vague anime, Hitorijime My Hero. It's a slice of life school anime by Avex Pictures based on a manga of the same name. There isn't any information on the plot, so you'll just have to gather your information based on the trailer. And the final trailer for today is for a movie adaptation of the 1993 TV drama Uchiage Hanabi. So this is basically a romance school drama where two high school boys who are best friends that like the same girl. But the girl's parents are getting a divorce, resulting in her having to transfer schools. A girl decides to run away with whichever of the boys wins in a swimming race, and this is set to release on August 18th.
Uchiage Hanabi, 下から見るか、横から見るか.
Now moving on to the announcements, Fairy Tail Dragon Cry got a new visual for its upcoming movie. The anime Isekai Shokudo, or in English Restaurant to Another World, got announced and scheduled for a summer 2017 release date. The visual novel Code Realize got announced for its own anime adaptation. And finally, the show Imouto Ireba got scheduled for the fall season. Now for today's episode, I actually decided to combine the news and featured segment. I came across an interesting article by Ollie Barter from Forbes about RADWIMPS and how they created the music for Kimi No Na Wa. Now, since the movie is currently screening across North America, I thought I'd share some of the information on here because I believe that the music played a pretty big role in the movie's success. So Barter managed to interview 3 of the 4 members of the band RADWIMPS. Apparently, Makoto Shinkai had reached out to the RADWIMPS producer because he was a fan of theirs, and it turned out that the band members happened to be mutual fans of his animated works as well. So, of course, they accepted Shinkai's proposal. And after a year and a half of work, the entire score was finished, but it's actually pretty neat to hear about what happened during that year and a half. So there was constant communication between the band, the director, and the producer. And the songwriting occurred at the same time as the animation, so they were basically influencing and building off of each other. One of the members stated that the music changed the story, the lines, and if the new scene was created, we changed the music. It was a creative process. The 2 main characters were very attractive, so I concentrated on them, how and when their feelings moved. They also went on to say that they weren't able to see the animation until it was finished, so they had to use their imagination to share the same image as Shinkai. They also compared scoring the movie to how they make music for their own albums. They said that when they make their own album, you only have to express everything by yourself and only for the music. But for the movie, it's a bit more complex in the sense that the music has a role for every specific scene because sometimes the music doesn't have to stand out, but at other times the music leads the story. And when thinking back at the movie now, there were actually scenes that had much more emotional depth simply because of the soundtrack being played in the background. Which is why it's so fascinating to just see the effort that went into arranging the music that would fit the animation. What's even more interesting is that the non-vocal soundtracks were divided among the group members based on scenes and then individually completed on their own time at their own studios. So I bet that by knowing this, and if you listen closely enough, you could probably hear the different styles of each of the group members based on the tracks that they composed for their scenes. So that's pretty much RADWIMPS' take on the process composing the music for Your Name. If you have yet to see the movie, I highly recommend watching it in theaters because watching it on the big screen is a much different experience than from what you'd expect. So yeah, you should definitely go do that when you have the chance. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you don't mind my voice because I can literally hear it going away as I'm making this video. So as for what I'll be releasing next, there's going to be a Kimi No Na Wa special soon. The second part of the Violet Evergarden video is next on my list. And then a new Who Did It Better will also be released soon as well. I'm not sure whether to do Hibike versus Yurlai in April for best performance, or like a world building one between Yujo Senki and Drifters. So let me know what you guys would like to see in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, and if you like this type of anime news content, then you already know what to do. So until next time, ciao!